Good afternoon, YouTube. I decided to do a little pop-up live just to have a place online for people to hang out. Today is New Year's Day. I decided to get into my stash and pull a few items. So LC has dropped in. This is a huge 500-gram bag of Ukrainian borscht with beef. I actually found this on Amazon sometime, I think I got it late 24 or very early 25 is when I got this. And I think you can actually find this still on Amazon unless it's has been sold out. So that's why I got the big bowl. Irish cream cappuccino. That's going in my delicious mug. This is a peach drink from British ORP. I got some dry roasted peanuts. Then I got an apple turnover and 2 packs of the crackers. So I'm actually going to go ahead and get this on the stove heating up instead of mixing the drink first, because this will take a little bit longer to heat up. And this is my lunch. Got booger bud in the house. I'm going to move that bowl aside. Well, someone just decided to hit on my channel membership. Thanks a lot for doing that. That's greatly appreciated. This peach looks very similar in color to the peach drink that you get from the Norwegian Arctic Field Ration. But a little more subdued. These drink mixes usually call for 500 mils of water, which is just a little bit over 2 cups, but I tend to make these a little stronger. I kind of had a little bit of a goal of tracking 100 in earned ad revenue before the end of the year, but I didn't make it, but that's okay. And, you know, it comes when it comes. I just have a bag off to the side that I'm putting the trash in. So there is a cappuccino. I just put a tiny bit more water in there. Almost too much. Yep, that's the strength. I like it. So I will go ahead and get the hot water for this, and then what I will do is I'll put the apple turnover on top of that. I tried a couple of different times to capture a little video of the fireworks that were going off. A lot of it I could not see because of the distance and the trees and the buildings. And then someone had loud music. Someone had their car parked right at the end of the exit driveway and had loud music playing, so I deleted that clip because I didn't want to get a copyright strike. So I waited until that car had left, and then I shot some more video, and then someone went out and at the end of the driveway and shot him off. It looked like it was close to the tree, but it was just the way the angle. And with the ground being fairly wet still from all the melting going on, I wasn't too concerned. There's Foreign Emery, Art, and Ornina in the house. And this is just a pop-up live that I decided to do. That bag of borscht is going to be a lot of food. 500 grams worth. If I manage to get every single bit of it out of the bag, which I know I'm not going to do. But there's the peanuts. Got two different versions of the way these crackers are packed. This one, I believe, is from 2016. And this is 2019. But I'm going to actually break them up inside of here. This one was a little bit bent anyway. There's Elsie dropping that super chat. Says, wishing my friend the happiest new year. Cheers to a good 2026. And the new thing that I can do is I can put a like on that super chat. Some of my videos may have a super thanks thing that someone can hit on if they want. But again, I leave all that entirely up to the viewer. Yeah, those migraines can really suck. My older nephew has been dealing with them since early childhood. There have been a few times where he would literally spend 2 to 3 days in a local children's hospital here and get a couple of IVs stuck in him. One for IV feeding, and the other for the actual medicine to knock down the migraine. As he grew up, they got less and less, but he will still get them occasionally. He does have a prescription medicine to take that can knock them down, but he has not had to spend several days in the hospital and just sleep it off. But they can be mean, and some people have tried the peppermint essential oil, just dotting it on where the pain is. That has helped. It will not obviously kill it completely, but at least knocks it down where you actually feel like you can take a pill to deal with it. But yeah, those. Fortunately, I have never had any migraines. There are non-prescription meds that you can get that are supposed to help with the minor migraines. I do not have any of those here. I might stock up on those just in case that were to happen to someone, or if ever I should get a migraine. But I have never had them, and I don't want them. But I have seen how nasty they can be. Yeah, and it's very nice to have a doctor who really knows how to deal with it. Well, I am going to go ahead and actually going to flip my turnover over. That keeps the heat inside the mug while warming up the turnover. So I'll be back with the borscht. Pretty much obliterated the writing off of the back. The label didn't come off, but it obliterated the writing off of it. The front label stayed pretty good. I'm drying it off with a paper towel. that one didn't work. Basically got it all out of there. There's cabbage, there's carrots, there's potato, of course there's beef, and there's supposed, I don't see a whole lot of beet. That could be red bell pepper. And go ahead and take a taste of this. This does not have any meat on it. Somehow I ended up sideways again, so I apologize for that. I set it for horizontal and it wanted to go vertical, so no, I guess it's right. Maybe my tray is just crooked, but there is a beef. Very basic seasoning to it. Might not actually need the second pack of crackers, because this first pack is absorbing a lot of the broth. I think that actually raises with the bit of salt that's in the crackers, although they don't taste all salty. I think that kind of wakes up the flavors in this. Ukrainian borscht is probably slightly different than typical Russian, which seems to have more of the beet color. I really couldn't read the ingredients for two reasons. One, I don't know Ukrainian, although it's written with the Cyrillic alphabet. I think one letter difference between the Ukrainian and Russian, but some of the printing on it, it looked like a dot matrix printer from back in the 80s. But the cabbage is definitely there. It could just be beet juice that's in here instead of actual beets. The last time I had an authentic Russian borscht many years ago, it actually had chunks of beet in it. Who knows, maybe they're eating their lunch. Now, I like that the beef is not overly processed. That's probably what sets these European entrees apart with some of the meats is they're not heavily processed. There is the apple turnover, the spot where the oxygen absorber was. Yeah, when you heat these up, that apple, that filling scent really comes out. Yeah, Irish cream cappuccino is one of those you can't go wrong with. peanuts are nicely roasted and salted. And so that might be orange bell pepper in there instead of carrot. But then again, it could be both. I just picked up some carrot flavor. The bell peppers and the carrot are very soft. The potatoes have a little bit more firmness to them, as does the cabbage. But it tastes good. It would be nice to have a little bit more herb seasoning in there. I could see that pepper was very, very low on the ingredient list. The Ukrainian word for that is identical to the Russian word, and same with the word for salt. Salt was a lot higher, but pepper was very low on the ingredient list. So I could probably use a little bit more pepper. There may have been other herbs in there, but I wouldn't know which. But this is one of those comfort foods that the Ukrainian soldiers in the field are probably very much enjoying right now, especially with it being so cold that they're having to defend their country in the cold. They have been supplied with other rations. The Poland ration company, Arpol, made a bunch of rations for the Ukrainian military and sent those in because their own ration packer just couldn't keep up with all the new people who were joining up in order to defend their country. But this is actually not bad. Having seen Ukrainian ration reviews by other channels, I know they do come with crackers that are similar to the Russian crackers or biscuits, and basically doing what they probably do with theirs. If they didn't use all of their spread, like jam or apple butter, whatever it is they may put on it, they may put it in their entrees and eat it that way, just like a lot of us like to do with our soups. Prepper for the Ages is here. Thanks for dropping in. This is just a pop-up live featuring Ukrainian borscht, and I brought out 2 packs of crackers, but I only put one in because the one pack has absorbed a lot of the liquid. But this is not bad. I'm not seeing any bits of beet. It's probably just beet juice. There's cabbage, red, orange bell peppers, there's carrots, there's potatoes, there's beef, salt, little pepper, and probably some other things that I couldn't figure out. This is an apple turnover. I sat it on top of my Irish cream cappuccino, roasted salted peanuts, and a peach drink from a British ration. So I brought out 2 of these packs of crackers, but I only opened 1. But this is my lunch today, and I figured, you know what? I'm just going to share it virtually anyway. Give someone else who is looking for a midday stream to hang out in. I did this on December 25th, though I started that one later in the day, an hour later than I did this one. But I figured I'd just go ahead and come on here, just offer up some live chat for people to hang out in. A lot of people not going anywhere today, especially if the weather's bad. It was like 17 or 18 degrees Fahrenheit right before I started this. My slider is still fogged up. Yeah, it got up to 47 Fahrenheit here yesterday, but then about mid-afternoon, or maybe very late afternoon, the temp started to dive. And by the time I went to bed last night, it had gotten down to like 28 Fahrenheit. So it was getting a little chilly. There you go. I almost thought about pulling a hot chocolate out, but then I thought, no, I'm going to have the Irish cream cappuccino. Yeah. And in the smaller cities like mine, there is no bus service. And last night, there was a passenger complaining about no bus service. She didn't believe it. She'd come from a bigger city where buses run every day of the year, regardless of holiday or not. But she wouldn't even believe the driver. I mean, the driver should know, but I guess she just wanted to have something to complain about. But I think the only stores that will be open today would be gas stations, maybe truck stops. Yeah, for long distance travelers who have to make stops on the way from point A to point B. Of course, people have to get to work. Some people do have to work on the holidays. Of course, no mail service. And if Tuesday's your trash, or no, if Thursday's your trash pickup day, at least here in Des Moines, it will get postponed till tomorrow. Yeah, she was in the bathroom sleeping on top of my towel stack. That's one of her sleeping spots, and the the towel she actually lays on stays on top of the stack. So if I want to hang a clean towel up, I'll take the one that's right underneath that one. Sometimes she'll sleep in the bedroom. I guess it depends on her mood and if the bedroom might be a little too cool for her. Or she just wants to change it up. And I also made up my mind about what I'm going to do this coming Sunday. When I had that poll up about should I open up the seafood chowder MCW or that Oriental chicken LRP, I'd taken a picture of each one of those two, posted that up, and I only deleted the picture of the LRP. The one that I took of the MCW is still saved in my phone, so I will put that picture up. I will need to take another one. Although I've been putting up my ration choices up on Smokey's Discord. But I have that one on. I have that app on my backup phone that I will sometimes bring over to show the weather, because I can't do that while I'm streaming. It just doesn't work that way. But I have the Discord app on that one, so I'll go ahead and put up a picture of that MCW there. Unfortunately, that menu got replaced, but I was able to get a hold of it. And of course, on my birthday, which is the 11th, I'm going to do something like this, but with different items. Yeah, I used to go out years ago on New Year's Eve, but even very rarely. I think the last time I did was probably, I know 2000. It was snowing that night, but people still went out. I guess, Y2K, and everybody was expecting everything to completely get shut down, but I knew that wasn't going to happen. I think I'd gone out one more time after that, but it just really wasn't my thing. I went out for my birthday more often than going out for New Year's Eve. I used to stay up and watch the live show from Times Square, but I got bored of that. And of course, when a company that I had bundled my services with decided to just arbitrarily start canceling my account, even though I was paying the bill. Once the DirecTV service had basically been shut down, I thought, heck with it. I'm not going to bother with it anymore. And so when I moved over here from that place, I left the one TV there because a thrift store would not take it because it was not a flat screen. They took the flat screen TV, but they would not take the tube style that actually got after I got the flat screen TV. So I just left that thing there. And I just never brought it over here because I had just been watching stuff online. And I'm perfectly happy with that. Oh, there's my crusher in the house. I got the Ukrainian borscht in here. It's beef. I dumped a pack of crackers in there, the style crackers. This is very basic. It could use a little bit more pepper. The pepper was very low on the ingredients list, that I could tell. And the salt was higher, but it's got decent flavor. Got cabbage, red and orange bell pepper, carrots, potatoes, the beef. There is probably some tomato. I did see the word for tomato in there. So there's tomato paste or tomato puree. Maybe some beet juice. It's not the super reddish purple beet color that you might associate with borscht. This is the apple turnover, the salted peanuts, roasted and salted peanuts. Got Irish cream cappuccino in my delicious mug. By the way, he tossed up a series of videos. 3 Norwegian rations from several years ago, like a breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So all 3 of those he tossed up. Then I got a British ORP peach drink in there. Yeah. That sounds like a winner, but I was really wanting to get into this borscht after sitting on it for a while. A bag said 500 grams. And with what else I got going on here, this is definitely going to be my big meal of today. But I'm perfectly fine with that. Yeah, I have the corned beef hash in a can, and then I have the roast beef hash in a can, which is made in the same way. It's just that the beef was treated different. Those are nice, quick things to have in your stash for when you don't feel like cooking much, and if it's just you. So I keep a variety of things like that around here. I decided to bring out the Tupperware tray again, since I wouldn't be putting too many things on it. Thanks for dropping in, Mike. Yeah, he's probably not the only one who'll be taking a nap today. I won't be. I can't sleep during the day like I used to when I was a lot younger. Yeah. Yep, Waffles, I decided to do another pop-up live. Just to have a chat to be there for anyone who might want to drop in. I got into that Ukrainian borscht that I had bought off Amazon either late 24 or very early of 25. I'd have to dig back into my Amazon orders to find it. But it might still be available if it hasn't sold out by then. I don't know, but it's a 500-gram bag. And so that's why I got a much bigger bowl than I normally do when I'm having a soup. Now this is just some stuff I pulled out of my stash. So the roasted salted peanuts, everything is from U.S. rations except for this is a British ORP drink. It's a peach. Got the Irish cream cappuccino in my delicious mug. Apple turnover. I had 2 of these packs of crackers, but I only opened one. Because that was enough to soak up a lot of the broth from this. So this is going to be very filling for sure. And I have decided that this coming Sunday for my first Sunday dinner stream of this new year. I'm going to go ahead and do the seafood chowder that I bought from Sean Heck, along with that Oriental chicken LRP that I did about a month or so ago. And of course, on my birthday on the 11th, I will do something like this, but with obviously different items. And I think that one will be interesting because, one, I cannot figure out what the heck it is because it's all in a language that I don't know squat about. I tried using Google Translate, and because of the shininess of the bag and all the stuff going on, all the patterns, it couldn't make heads or tails out of it. But that one will have more international flavor as far as components. I got a Norwegian protein bar. I got a Polish bar. I got some it could be Dutch or German sweet biscuits. I got other drink mixes I can do. And I'll probably have G7 coffee from that bag that I recently got. So it'll be a wider variety of origins, like I did several years ago when I did what I called ration mashups. I had more of a variety of stuff because I was able to get stuff like that a lot easier than I can now. But I found a couple of foreign rations that were based, the rations are already in the U.S., so I don't have to worry about them being stolen. And so those are on eBay, and then I got one big monster of one off of another seller on Facebook. So I paid that person, and that is definitely one I have never had before. In fact, I might have enough in there for at least 3 full meals out of it. Yep, I'm hoping to have all kinds of goodies, and these two that I got from the same seller on eBay, they're single meal rations, but they are of a variety that I had not had before, but I had seen, I think, one or two of them reviewed by other reviewers. I still have two IMPs. But as the year goes on, I will continue to look for other ones. Sea cars are back on eBay. That's a close combat assault ration. That's a 24-hour ration that is similar to a first strike. Those are back on eBay. But right now, there are only 3 menus. So I may eventually get one of those. I'm hoping to find a much fresher case of the halal MREs. I'd like to get a full case. I've never had a full case of those. And the fresher, the better. There was one seller who had one with an inspection date of 26. So they are newer than the last group of the halal MREs that I got. Mine are 2021. These are like 24. But I may go after something like that later in the year. Of course, when Ramadan starts up, I will obviously not be doing streams because I will be eating my dinner every day at the mosque. The only year I did not do that was 2020 when the big nasty ruined our fun. I just delayed the start of my review till after sunset, after I broke my fast for the day. Of course, we will have to deal with that stupid time change again. I wish that would stop. I had seen, not a full case, but I think a group of 4 of them with 27 inspection date, but when I was looking at the case that had a 26 inspection date, I had seen there are 5 menus with lamb, and the 2 breakfast ones that had the oatmeal, they have been completely removed. So no more breakfast options in the halal lineup. The ratatouille was in that one, so that one has not been discontinued. It may have been discontinued since that one, but I don't know. But the two oatmeal menus are out of that particular lineup. But there are 5 menus with lamb in it. And you will not get that in any other American ration. Yeah, that seems to be a theme with those. And they're still very snack heavy. Still no hot drink option, which I think is stupid. You buy a British halal ration, you'll get hot drinks. You buy the French ones the same way. You buy the German ones the same way. Even some of the Spanish halal ones might have a hot drink option. Now, that halal B2 that I had did not have a hot drink option, but I ended up trading that one off along with some other things for some other rations. Now, if you get the La Brie kosher certified ones, and they also do halal certified, you'll at least get a cocoa mix in there. And you could do one of those instant teas hot. You get 2 packets of that instant tea in the La Brie accessory pack, but you could do one of those hot if you wanted. In fact, I think I did that. Huh. It could have been, maybe not all cases have it. I don't know, this, or the list that I was looking at just could have been wrong. But I just did not see the oatmeal in that particular listing. But I'll probably wait till after Ramadan in order to get a case of the halal MREs. And I'll still be on the hunt for foreign ones that are already in the U.S. And these 2 that I saw on eBay, I looked at both menus, and they are both ones that I can eat because neither of them have pork in it. So I'm very excited to get those. And the one that I got from another seller, I'll just reveal it when I do get it in. But this one that I found, I will say that it is from a country I had never had a complete ration from. I may have gotten a couple of individual items, but not a complete ration. So I think that one is going to be a fun one to get into. I still have a few left from that 24 case B and the 22 case A. And I have one halal MRE left, plus the two Canadian ones. They still have the Tic Tacs in them instead of the single candy. I think they'll start at like 23 or later. I don't remember what year that started, but I think my Canadian IMPs, the two that I have, were 21. I looked at this Amory's World site. All it has is cases, individual cases, or groups of them, or a full pallet. Yeah, they do bulk case orders. But that's all I see on that site, so I'm not really interested in anything off of there right now. Yeah, the one site I had tried ordering a couple items off, that one was completely gone. Yeah, that Emery house, they were knocking off Emery Mountain, but that one is completely gone. And Emery Mountain, well, too many issues with people not getting any assistance or even a response. So I tried ordering the same RCIR menu twice. Both times I got rated. They wouldn't even respond to me. let alone offer any kind of a refund or anything. So I'm not messing with that nonsense again. And the other items I'm just not interested in. So I'll just keep searching elsewhere. I would have to look at them, which I can do. It'll take me a bit, but I can look, see which ones I got. See, that says 21. This is menu 13, honey garlic chicken. This one is also 2021. Pub style pulled beef. Those are the two IMPs that I currently have. And I'm definitely looking forward to digging into both of those. I've been wanting one of the pulled beef ones ever since I heard about it. And that honey garlic chicken, that has definitely got me interested as well. Stuff like that is what the American ration packers need to start doing. More of a variety like that. I'm definitely looking forward to digging into both of those. I'm hoping that one of those two has the cornbread, because I want to do a direct comparison between the Canadian cornbread and the American cornbread. So if either one of these two has Canadian cornbread in it, I'm going to substitute that for something else so I can do that comparison. I think that'll be an interesting one to do. Plus, I want to try out the picante seasoning powder against the hot sauce powder, plus just the regular chili flake. I'm going to do that as a standalone video. There's prep for it in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Just decided to do a pop-up live just to give people a place to hang out. So Ukrainian borscht with beef. Very basic seasoning. I put one package of crackers like this in there. Definitely not the deep purple red that you would expect from a borscht, but the Ukrainian recipe is a little bit different than the standard Russian. But it's got beef, it's got potatoes, cabbage, red and orange bell pepper, carrots. The ingredients had pepper way down on the list. But it could use a little more pepper, at least to my liking. But it's just a comfort food that those Ukrainian soldiers trying hard to defend their country would love to dig into on a cold day. Yeah, this is the U.S. apple turnover. These are roasted salted peanuts. This peach drink is from a British RP. And then Irish cream cappuccino is in my delicious mug. I also have a blueberry turnover, but I decided on the apple today. But I have found a few more rations online. I have those ordered. At one seller, I got two different menus of the same type of ration. There are two separate listings, but the seller put them together into one package. And then on Facebook, I hit up a guy I had bought some before, and he had one that definitely intrigued me, so yeah, I'll take that one. There's one he had, but I had already had that menu, so I wasn't really interested in that one. And one had pork in it. Said, nope. But this other one, oh yeah. And all I will say about that one is the guy said it's huge. Yeah, this borscht was actually on Amazon. So I've been sitting on it a while. Yeah, there's a YouTuber, I'm not subscribed to that channel, but I watched a video where he had collected a bunch of medical supplies, and he actually traveled there personally. He had shipped them to Poland, and then he loaded them up on a train from wherever he left in Poland into, across the Ukrainian border, because obviously planes weren't going in and out of there. But he looked up a local army group, and especially medics, and said, I got all this stuff for you. So it was, one box was nothing but tourniquets. And then other boxes of other medical supplies that he had personally taken in. And they were very much appreciative of all that stuff. But Poland, the Artpol did a bunch of rations to be given out to Ukrainian soldiers because their own packer could not keep up. This Latin letter said GFS is their ration packer. Or at least for that particular one. They may have a couple others. But Artpol decided to do a bunch for the Ukrainian military, and probably still doing that. Thanks for dropping in, Waffles. So this coming Sunday, at my regular time, 7 p.m. Central, 8 Eastern, I'm going to have one of my favorite MCW menus that has since been discontinued, the seafood chowder. And the vegetable crackers that were in another emery, I swapped those out for plain ones like this. Because I want the vegetable crackers with that seafood chowder. So that's how I'm going to do that. Going to have just a little fun with it. It would be nice if Mountain House would put that seafood chowder in their standard retail packaging so people can buy it. I mean, I would. Maybe it wasn't popular enough, or there's some people don't like it, but I do. Normally I don't eat a meal this big for lunch, but I wanted to have a little something special today. This borscht was 500 grams. That's over double a standard U.S. military entree. Yep, although this one being just a mix of things. Yeah, Delicious over in Poland put up 3 videos that he did of older Norwegian rations, and breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He did those as separate videos instead of in one longer one. And Rocker Something put up a video of a Minotaur Trading Company ration that he had. And he overlaid audio of a conversation between one person and a guy who was in Vietnam War. So he overlaid that conversation for the sound for that video instead of the standard music or other sounds that he uses. And Bourbon Street Joe had a Romanian ration with components that were made in South Africa. But put together in Sweden. But in a bag that kind of looked like the British ORP bag with the handle. I did not watch Delicious's videos yet. I will after this. Because I'm definitely curious about those older Norwegian rations that he got a hold of. Well, thanks for dropping in. And take it easy shoveling that snow. Because we had warm weather around here. All but the biggest piles and spots that don't get sun on them have nearly completely melted off. In fact, the grass around here is green. It had been starting to green up again, instead of being all brown and dead looking. Yeah, we got up to 47 Fahrenheit yesterday. But then about mid-late afternoon, the temperature started to take a dive. And by the time I went to bed last night, it was down to the 28 degrees Fahrenheit. But there are some who were shooting off fireworks last night. So I tried to capture some of that. Didn't work out all that well the first time I tried because someone had very loud music on and I didn't want that. So I got a couple more clips and then just put them together into one video and then uploaded that. Not until the second clip where you see someone down there at the end of the driveway, you really couldn't see the fireworks because they were too far away, blocked by trees and buildings. And with all the street lights being on, I could only hear them. But then someone went down to the end of the driveway last night and was shooting them off there. But I just opened my slider enough just so I could open my screen so I don't have the look of the screen across my camera lens. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people were out doing stuff that I don't care to be doing. Or if they have TV service or online streaming from New York City. Yeah, I watched that. We watched that every year when I was a kid, but as I got older, I just lost interest in that. As I said earlier, I would go out a few times, but I would go out for my birthday more than I did New Year's Eve. So basically, I just treat it as any other day. Only difference is no bus service today. A lot of businesses are closed. To me, it's today is like a Sunday. I have no reason to go outside at all, so I'm not gonna. Yeah, there are a few who would normally be on Wednesday nights, probably were not on. One was, but I didn't get in his stream because I got home halfway through it and I just wanted to get settled in, have a little something to eat because I spent yesterday afternoon and part of the evening at the mosque doing some things that I normally do on Thursdays. So then I just took a bus home and, well, two buses. I munched on a smaller bag of Cheez-Its and a couple of the Paleo Valley original beef sticks that I brought home on the 24th. I did get a package mailed off to Tuesday actually got a package mailed off to another person in Canada. And I was surprised it didn't cost me any more than it did, even with getting the tracking number. Of course, this package is made of very, very lightweight items. And there's probably more weight to the actual packing material than the actual items that I sent. But it didn't cost me a whole lot more to go priority and get that tracking number, because just the customs number really doesn't tell you much. And because the items were all freebie finds, I didn't spend anything for them. I just spent money to ship them. And of course, I had to have a little fun with the packaging. The tissue paper that my track plaque were wrapped in, it went from a peach color to a dark lavender, kind of fade from one to the other. So I used those to wrap the items. And then I put them in bags, plastic bags, and then I bubble wrapped around them. But purple is her favorite color, so some of the items that I sent up are purple. And when I saw them, yep, I know where those are going. Hopefully she will not have any issues with receiving that package. My mosque had a clothing giveaway slash exchange, and someone had left some scarves. So I picked up the purple ones, and then a couple of black ones, and then there was a pink underscarf tube that fits over the head underneath the scarf. So I included that, and I gotten a hold of a ball of yarn that is a blue, purple, white variegated pattern. So I showed her pictures of those before I packaged them up. She crochets and she knits. So I tucked a crochet hook into the yarn. And then I had an extra small Olight flashlight that you can put on your keys that have purple. So she does not know about that one. And I tucked that one in with the scarves, so that's the only thing she does not know about. So I'm hoping that they won't take too long to get up there to her piece of Ontario. Yep. But he had to take off. Of course, speaking of breakfast, I have those maple muffin tops, which are basically like super thick pancakes. And that's how I like to eat them: is warm them up, put syrup on it, and eat them as though they were super thick pancakes. I'm looking at my slider. Some of the condensation has started to dry off. So it's getting warm enough in a day where the glass is not so fogged up. I haven't looked at the temperature since I started this stream. It was like 17 Fahrenheit when I was getting set up. But I'm not going outside. I don't have a need to. I guess I don't really care. Since already this pack of crackers is already bent, and I just kind of kept bending it more. I'll just drop this in a soup. Since they would just be falling apart anyway. This past Sunday, you saw how bent that cracker pack was. I mean, it was basically like that as I took it out of the bag. So that's how I'll treat this one. I'd say after that lunch, I'm definitely Definitely full. It's about as almost as much food as I eat every time I go into Gersha, my favorite restaurant in town. That's the only other time I will eat a big meal in the middle of the day is when I go in there. Because I actually had a little something extra. I had lamb. Then I got a dish called alicia, which is cabbage, carrots, and potatoes. In a yellow sauce. Plus, I had the rice with the injera. I always get that because I like injera. Then I had a salad on the plate, and then, although I don't ask for them every time, the cook almost always gives me a couple of samosas. But then yesterday he gave me a couple of fried round doughy things that are sweet. It's like a fried sweet bread that are about the size of the bottom of this bowl. And there are two of them in there, so I was not expecting that. But I ate all that. I was definitely stuffed for the rest of the day. Well, now that I've eaten everything, I'm probably going to go ahead and call this one good as well. I have been on here 2 hours myself, so for those that will catch this after it goes to replay, I hope you enjoy watching this. Little something different. I'd never done a New Year's Day stream before, and I'd never done a Christmas Day stream before. So just a couple of extra goodies. And plus, I was just feeling like the borscht today. So anyway, I want to thank you all for hanging out with me tonight. I hope you have a very good 2026. Yeah, it will be a challenging year, no doubt, but as long as we make ourselves ready to face whatever challenges come, and we'll come out better for it on the other side. Anyway, thanks for watching and catch you on the flip side.